Good morning, students. Today we study about the second ecological factor or climatic factor, that is light. Light, it is most essential abiotic factor without which no life can exist. It is non-lethal limiting factor both at the maximum and minimum level. The chief natural sources of light are sunlight, moonlight, starlight, and the light producing or luminescent organism. Of these, sunlight has the greatest ecological significance. The radiant energy coming from the sun in the form of visible spectrum is called light or luminous energy. Radiation that penetrates that Earth's atmosphere consists of electromagnetic waves of a wide range in wavelength. A beam of light is pictured as a shower of particles called photons. Each photon carries a certain amount of energy called quantum. The solar radiations which penetrate Earth's atmosphere consist of a band of visible light and a small proportion of ultraviolet and infrared radiations. It is not known whether the long radio waves have some ecological importance to plants. The visible light lies in the range of 400 to 750 millimicron. When the visible sunlight is passed through a prism, it is dispersed into a series of wavelengths showing 7 different colors: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. That is VIBGYOR, means violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. The wavelength of ultraviolet is below 390 millimicron and that of infrared is above 750 millimicron. The photochemical activity is greatest at the violet end. Ultraviolet thus has a greatest killing effect on the protoplasm. It helps in the synthesis of anthocyanin in leaves and inactivate the growth hormones and thus check stem growth. Microbes injured by ultraviolet rays are often rejuvenated by exposure to visible light. X-ray and gamma rays show high degree of ionizing effect. They cause mutation in living system and in high doses they are absolutely fatal. Infrared radiations are not so powerful as may stimulate biochemical reactions. These radiations have high effects. They exert influence on stem growth and germination. The radiation of wavelength shorter than 290 millimicron never reach to the Earth's surface. Then spatial variations in light intensity. Light intensity differs from place to place. The spatial variation is in light intensity may be caused by the following: affecting atmosphere. When the light passes through the atmosphere of the earth, a small proportion of radiation of shorter wavelength become absorbed by atmospheric gases, mainly nitrogen and oxygen. The places at high altitude receives brighter light than those at lower altitude, that is above the sea level. Atmospheric vapor exert a powerful screening effect, and for this reason the intensity of light is much greater in dry areas than in wet regions. At the equator, the light is more intense and contains highest proportion of direct sunlight. Toward the pole, the intensity of direct light decreases and the percentage of diffused light goes high. Second, effect of water. In water medium, the intensity of light is reduced and this decreases progressively with the increase of water depth. About 10% of sunlight falling on the water surface is reflected and 90% of that penetrates water. Phytoplankton, zooplankton and suspended particles either reflect or absorb the light rays. Submerged plants get weaker lights than the plants on the surface of water get. When light reaches on the surface of water, the major proportion of rays of shorter wavelength, that is violet, indigo, blue and green, are reflected and other light are partly absorbed. This is why bodies of water appears bluish green in color. Then effect of suspended particles. Dust, smoke and other solid particles dispersed in the air or water have great screening effect. In smoky industrial cities, the smoke may reduce 90% of light. Next is effect of the layers of vegetation. In complex plant community, example forest, the tallest plant receive full sunlight, undershrub receive diffuse light, herb and epigynous cryptogams grow in still weaker light. In dense forest, the leaves completely check the penetration of light and less than 1% of total sunlight reaches the surface. Then last point is temporal variations in light. The light intensity during summer is much higher than that in winter. It is weak at sunset in winter and comparatively stronger during the midday hours. This periodical fluctuation in the intensity of light is due to the change in the angles of radiations reaching the earth. At equator, the daylight prevails 12 hours out of every 24 hours in both the seasons, summer and winter. In the polar regions, the day length becomes longer than 12 hours in summer and shorter than 12 hours in winter. This is about the spatial variations, temporal variations and light. In next class we study about the effects of light on the plants. Thank you.